We present Jimmy Clitheroe as the Clitheroe Kid, with Peter Sinclair as grandfather, Patricia Burke as mother, Leonard Williams as Theodore Craythorpe, Danny Ross as Alfie Hall, and Diana Day as Susan in
The Trouble with Neighbours. Get in! Well, one more plank and the old log cabin will keep out all the Apaches and Blackfeet for miles around.
Jimmy, where are you?
Is that Calamity Jane a-calling for Wild Jimmy Cock? I'm on the ranch next door.
Oh, more of your silly games of bang bang, you're dead.
You're not Calamity Jane. You're a Blackfoot squaw. On second thoughts, though, you're more of a dirty neck.
Don't be so childish. Mrs. Higginbottom just phoned to say that Ozzy couldn't come to play with you because he has a bad cold in the head.
Well, it's his own fault. Yesterday, he was wearing Wellingtons, and all the way to school he kept jumping in puddles and splashing me and Charlie Thompson. So as soon as we got to school, Charlie grabbed his arms, I grabbed his legs, and we sat him in a fire bucket. Still, you wouldn't think that'd give him a cold in the head, would you?
You'll get into serious trouble one of these days. You shouldn't be over there anyway, playing on somebody else's lawn.
Lawn? You mean cabbage patch? Anyway, the house has been empty for months.
That doesn't mean you can build a dog kennel in the back garden.
This is a cowboy's log cabin. And if you've any more cracks to make, you'd start running now. Because with that drainpipe skirt you've got on, I could grab me lasso and have you roped and branded before you could waddle 2 yards.
You are an infant. I can't be bothered to waste any more time on you. I've got to go to the library and back before Alfie comes for me.
Don't worry. If Alfie doesn't come for you, the van will. Sisters. Why couldn't me mum have had 2 sons? Or just me and a pup? Oh, well, I better get this last plank in. Oh, me blooming thumb. Oh, that's Ozzy's fault. If he'd been here, he'd have held the nail and I'd have hit him. You definitely need a mug to help with this sort of thing.
Hello, Jimmy. What are you doing?
I found one. Hello, Alfie. Come round the back into our garden. I've got a ladder here.
Yeah, hello, Jim. What are you doing in next door's garden?
Building a log cabin. Me grandad won't let me build one in our garden. Come on, give me a hand.
Well, I can't. I've got to meet Susan.
She's gone to the library. I've only one plank to nail. We'll be finished before she gets back.
Oh, all right, then. Yeah, I'll climb over the fence.
Watch the ladder, there's a rung missing.
You what?
Careful, there's a rung missing.
Which one?
That's the one.
Oh, I'll bang me funny bone.
Well, when you finish laughing, climb over.
You'll laugh on the other side of your face if I do.
Right, never mind. If you want to laugh, shout for Mr. Craythorpe. He's just going into our front door.
What for?
Just tell him you want him while I get me lasso. Go on.
Yeah, all right, then. Get Mr. Craythorpe. Mr. Craythorpe. Is that you shouting, Alfred? No, I was shouting Mr. Craythorpe. I mean, yes. Hey, come here, I want you.
Oh, you are a funny boy. What do you want me for?
I don't know.
Oh, you're not funny. You're peculiar. Why did you call me?
Look out, Alfie, while I rope me a redskin.
James, what are you... Oh, take this rope off my...
Oh, sorry, Mr. Craythorpe. I didn't mean to lasso your throat. Alfie is going blue. Rub his ears.
But yeah, Mr. Craythorpe, you breathe while I shove your chest in and out.
Let go, you monster. Stop squeezing me. I'm not an accordion.
What are you all doing out there?
Oh, just having a game, ma'am.
Well, don't you be bothering Mr. Craythorpe, Jimmy. Bring them in for a cup of tea.
Right, ma'am. Come on, tea up.
Well, there you are now. Come away into the living room. Pat's got a cup of tea made.
Hello, Mr. Sinclair. That is kind of her. But she shouldn't have troubled for me.
I wanted a cup, so she only needed to put more water in it for you. The way you like it, I don't call it tea.
What do you call it?
Oh, never mind. Well, here we are, Pat.
Oh, hello, Alfie. Susan won't be long. Sit down, and you too, Theodore. Oh, Jimmy, go into the kitchen and pour out the tea, son, will you? 2 without sugar.
Yeah, I'll give you hand, Jim.
Right, Alfie, come on. Did you say 2 without sugar, ma'am?
Yes, I'm trying to get a bit off my waist.
You'll have to find it first.
That'll do, Jimmy.
I suppose you're a little surprised to see me here so early.
Whatever time you come, I'll still get a shock.
Take no notice of him, Theodore. Father has a strange sense of humour.
Yes, I never quite understand it. But then, I like Noel Coward, and Mr. Sinclair is more for Keyhole Kate.
Look here, Craythorpe.
Now, you two. Was there some special reason for you being early, Theodore?
Yes, I wondered if you'd heard that the house next door is sold.
No. Who bought it?
A man called Whittle. He was round at the housing committee about it the other day. I understood he was moving in today.
Oh.
Well, Jimmy better get the man's garden cleared.
Yes.
Hey, Jimmy! Jimmy!
What's up? You can't be that thirsty.
Listen, someone's taken the house next door, so you'll have to go straight out and take down that shed you've built in their garden.
The log cabin, if you don't mind. What the heck do they want to move in there for?
Well, people have to get houses where they can. Off you go now and clear it away.
Hey, couldn't we talk them out of it? Tell them the house has got worms.
You mean woodworm?
Woodworms, glowworms, any blinking worms. Let's tell them the house is falling down.
Don't be silly. It's a very solid house.
Well, I could loosen a few bricks.
Oh, stop arguing and go and do as your mother tells you. Now, clear away that wooden hut.
For the last time, it's a blinking log cabin.
Now stop that shouting. You can't play in someone else's garden. And when we have a new neighbour moving in, we should try and help him all we can.
Exactly, and remember that, boy. This should be a better place if everybody helped their neighbour. As we go through life, we should give a helping hand wherever we can. No man is an island, and we each have a duty to the rest. A man's best friend shouldn't be a dog, it should be his fellow man, his neighbour.
Well, go on.
What do you mean, go on?
Well, you've given us a sermon. Aren't we going to sing a hymn?
Is Jimmy coming, Father? Oh, there he is. Jimmy! Jimmy, what have you been doing all this time?
Helping Mr. Whittle, our new neighbour, running his errands and all that.
How much for?
Nothing clever. Since it's his first day, I did the errands free.
Oh, that was very kind of you, I'm sure. And did you pull down those old planks you'd nailed together? I mean your log cabin.
No, I told Mr. Whittle it was a tool shed and sold him it for 5 bob.
Right. Aye, you're learning to be a real wee money grabber.
Aye, you're right there, teacher.
Mother, can we please have tea? I've spent an hour cooking this, and if we don't eat it soon, it'll be ruined.
If you cooked it, it's ruined anyway.
All right. Now, that'll do. Now, tell us about this Mr. Whittle.
Oh, yeah.
What you like?
Oh, he's a nice man, but I think he's foreign. He talks funny and keeps calling me Little Whacker.
Oh, he must be a Liverpool man.
Oh, aye, well, then they do have a funny kind of an accent, you know.
Anyway, let's sit down and have some tea. Come
We
on.
can't yet, Mum.
Why not?
Well, you and Grandad said we have to look after our neighbours, so I asked Mr. Whittle to come for tea.
Oh, Jimmy, you shouldn't. Well, not without warning me. I've not tied it up properly.
Oh, he won't mind. I don't think he's what you call posh.
Well, why do you say that?
Well, while I was there, 3 of them were drinking out of 1 saucer.
3 of them?
Yeah, Mr. Whittle, his dad and the cat.
Oh, look.
That'll be him now. I'll let him
dear.
in.
Jim, look, as soon as you bring him in, go down to the grocer's for a large tin of peaches. Oh, we better have a sweet.
Right, old Mum.
Dear.
I'll get that boy a talking to when this fella leaves.
Come in, Mr. Whittle. Go in the room there. My mum's got the tea ready.
Right, yeah, Jim, my little whacker. I'll meander in and get me trotters in the trough.
Oh, he certainly isn't posh. Oh, come in, Mr. Whittle. I'm Mrs. Clitheroe.
Oh, so very much. Now, don't try to tell me someone as young as you is Jim's mother. You're far too juvenile.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Whittle.
If you stuck on a pair of jeans, a sloppy Joe and a ponytail, the kids would say you were the best-looking Judy in the pally.
Mr. Whittle.
Huh?
I'm Mr. Sinclair, Jimmy's grandfather.
Oh, well, that I believe. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Pop. By, you look after the old fella, Mrs. Clitheroe, don't you? It's taken a bit of good grub to build his corporation.
Hey, do you mind?
Oh, Mr. Whittle, this is my daughter, Susan.
And nearly as pretty as her mother. Hello, Sue.
Hello, Mr. Whittle. Mother, I'll just go and see to the meal.
Yes, thank you, Susan.
Well, now we've met, you can drop the Mr. Whittle. I never like standing on ceremonial.
No.
My name's Harry, but all my pals call me Smiler on account of my highly undeveloped sense of humour. As my father, that's my old dad, always says, laugh and the world laughs with you. Cry and you wet your muffler.
Well, as I
Have you ever noticed when people are sitting around miserable, if a bloke starts to chuckle, the laughter permutates right through the room?
Aye, as I was going
You don't say much, Mrs. Clitheroe.
I haven't had much chance.
No, the alpha egg does keep interrupting.
Well, blow me doon.
Did you say your father was with you, Mr. Whittle?
Yeah, that's right. Just me and my old dad. Mind you, he pulls his weight. He does all the cooking. He does all them fancy things, you know, omelettes, peas pudding, and that chicken Mary-Ann.
Well, of course, I used to do a lot of cooking.
I'll tell you this, though. My dad's chocolate meringues, oh, they melted your mouth. They go down without touching your throat.
Yes, my father was in the Navy, you see, and he used to cook.
I remember...
Well, you could have a good old chinwag with my dad. Oh.
Well, I can't talk to his son, that's certain. But I'll go and give Susan a hand.
Yes, all right, Father. Was your father in the Navy?
No, he's a retired lighthouse keeper. Of course, it's a funny life, you know.
Yeah.
He got home on only 3 days a month. When I was 9 years old, he was still asking me what my name was.
Oh, Mr. Whittle.
Oh, no, call me Harry or Smiler.
Yes, all right. Harry, my name's Pat.
What's the old geezer's handle?
Pardon?
Your dad?
Oh, Peter, yeah.
He's a nice fella.
Yes.
Bit talkative, like. You know, when he talks in that Scotch voice, hasn't he got a funny mode of expression? Anyhow, as I was saying, we never saw much of my old fella, you know. He never drunk on duty. Oh, he's very strict about that. So he had to do a month's drinking in his 3 days off.
Mr. Whittle, there's an old gentleman leaning out of your kitchen window, ringing a bell and shouting.
Oh, that'll be me dad. I'll just open your window, Pat, if you don't mind, and see what the old fella's up to.
Oh, no, that's quite all right. Harry.
That's me dad. He says me tea's ready. I'll tell him. It's all right, Dad. I'm having a jar of tea in here. He's done some cow eel. Stick it in the oven, Dad, where the cat can't get at it.
Pat, I've had enough of that man Whittle. He's nothing but an interfering nuisance, and I feel like telling him so.
Oh, well, I must admit, Father, he pops in here at all sorts of odd hours. We don't seem to have any privacy anymore.
You're right, Mum. The way things are going, Grandad will have to try his new kilt on in the coal shed.
It's not funny, Jim. In only a week, he's borrowed milk, sugar, and cornflakes. He's used our phone 3 times and been in twice for his tea. I'll bet he's been in this house more times than the rent man.
I know, and he's had more luck.
Jimmy, that'll do. We all know you're making a fortune running his errands for him.
Oh, I don't just like him for his money. He makes me laugh when he talks. He's got a funny mode of expression, like, you know. It must be the way he uses his vocabulary.
Oh, that'll do, Jim. Now, just you keep quiet and read your comics or something.
I can't read me comics. You've still got them in your bedroom. And I hope you haven't made a mess of the Tiny Tots crossword again.
Jimmy, find something to read and keep quiet.
All right, I'll have a look at the Radio Times. Now, what's on the telly tonight? Oh, heck, ask me another. Hey, Grandad, there's amateur boxing on tonight. You like that, don't you?
Jimmy, quiet. I think I can hear someone coming up the garden path and the front door's open.
Well, if it's Laughing Boy Whittle again, I'm ready for him. It's about time that cuckoo was told to find another nest.
Oh, pardon the intrusion, won't you? I hope I'm not protruding.
Oh, not at all. Come and lay an egg, Mr. Cuckoo.
Jimmy.
Oh, what's this? The little whacker having a joke at my expense, eh? Well, as I always say to my old dad, let's laugh today, because tomorrow we might be gone.
Well, I'm sure we'd miss you.
Is there something you want, Mr. Whittle?
Well, you can do me a small obligement, Pat. Could you warm this meat pie in your oven? You see, I've got a bob jammed in me meat and I've run out of gas.
That'll be the day.
What was that little witty aside, young whacker?
I said it'll be a big day for the army boxing team if they win the contest on the telly tonight.
Oh, yes, that I must see. When I was in the army, I was a dab hand at the old fisticuffs myself.
Yes, well, I'd better take that pie, Mr. Whittle.
Oh, time, Mrs. C.
Be careful how you go, Father.
Mr. Whittle, did you ever get in the army boxing team?
I was light heavyweight champion of our division. Here, to say, Peter, I don't suppose you've ever tried the noble art, have you? I mean, being Scotch, I suppose you're going for chucking that long pole about.
I presume you're referring to tossing the caber.
Aye, that's right. Seems daft to me. Still, you Scotch folks have you're a bit eccentric about sport. It's a wonder you don't play football with a haggis.
Grandad, watch your temper. Your neck's going blotchy.
Mr. Whittle, it might surprise you to know that I was a boxing champion in the Merchant Navy.
Fancy that. I used to look forward to our scraps with the Merchant Navy. We used to give 'em a right tanning.
Is that a fact? Well, I'll tell you something, Whittle. The only army boxers I've ever met were a lot of loudmouth windbags who couldn't knock the skin off a rice pudding.
Oh, do I detect something personal behind that little cloudburst?
Well, if the cap fits, you can wear it.
Oh. Now, listen, Jock. I've no intention of giving offence to an old man, I'm sure.
An old man? Jock, I'll take you on in the ring any time you like.
Hang on, Grandad, I'll phone Jack Solomon's.
I've got a slight suspicion I'm not wanted at this house.
Well, there's the door, Whittle, or would you rather go out through the window?
Oh, you can't chuck him through the window, it's just been cleaned.
Oh, well, if that's your attitude, I'll go and leave you to your own advices. Good day to you.
Well, that's got rid of him.
Oh, your pie shouldn't be long now, Harry. Oh, has he gone?
Aye. He tried to get cocky with me and I sent him away with a flea in his ear. He won't be coming round here anymore.
Oh, in that case, I'd better go and see him about tomorrow's errands.
Jimmy, you'll run no more errands for Whittle. You'll keep away from him.
But, Grandad, you can't do that to me. Remember what you said? As we go through life, we should give a helping hand wherever we can. And that's what I'm doing, at a bob a time.
Now, Jimmy, that'll do.
Jimmy, we don't want to hear any more.
But, Ma'am...
Stop arguing. Oh, and go and see who that is at the front door.
Oh, all right, Ma'am.
If it's Alfie, call him for our Susan. Take him in the front room. We don't want him upsetting your Grandad as well.
All right. Blinking grown-ups, stopping me errand money. Here I am, living right next door to an oil well, and they won't even let me fill my lamp. All right, I'm coming. Keep your vest on.
Oh, hello, Jim. Can I come in?
Not without saying the password.
What is it?
Here's a shilling.
Oh, no, not again. Yeah, every time I come round here, it's like a student's rag week.
Oh, come in then. But mind you don't fall over the step, you might break the milk bottles.
Gee, don't worry. I've had enough trouble falling off that ladder. I've got a shocking bruise on me. Well, I'm not saying where it is, but the chemist wouldn't treat me for it till he pulled the blinds down.
Listen, I want to talk to you. It's urgent. Come in the Snoggers retreat.
The what?
The front room here. I'm in real trouble, and I've got less than half an hour to sort it out.
Ooh, you sound proper desperate.
Oh, there you are, Alfie. I just want a word with you.
Well, if you'll come back later, Alfred and me are having a private discussion, man to man or whatever he is.
Hello, Susan. Yeah, you're not ready for the dance yet, am I early?
No, it's my fault. I washed my hair and I can't get it dry.
Well, hang it on the clothesline.
That's enough from you. I'm sorry, Alfie, but I'll be at least a half an hour.
I don't mind waiting till you've made yourself look glamorous.
If you wait that long, we'll be charging you bed and breakfast.
Oh, you and your childish jokes. I'll be as quick as I can, Alfie.
Jimmy, sometimes I feel real sorry for Susan. I couldn't imagine anything worse than having you for a brother.
I could, having you.
You were asking for an earful of knuckles.
I'm sorry, Alfie. I like you, really, because I think you're very clever. I bet you know all about television sets.
Well, I know a bit. I can work the on and off switch, and I know the right channel for Wells Fargo.
Good. You're just the expert I want. Now, all you've got to do is to nip up in our loft and disconnect the aerial.
Disconnect the aerial?
Grandad and Mr. Whittle have had a row. But if I can get Grandad invited next door to watch the boxing, that'll plant the seeds of friendship, and I'll be ready for the harvest. Are you receiving me?
All right, but I hope you know what you're doing.
Oh, don't worry. I'm all there with my cough drops. Now, listen, you don't need the ladder. Mum's left the steps upstairs. You can use them.
Yeah, all right, Jimmy. Yeah, I suppose it's all for the best.
Yes, as long as you don't let Grandad catch you, or else there'll be another boxing match in our living room. Man Mountain Sinclair versus Sparrowlegs Alfie.
Oh, this is the limit, Jimmy. The boxing starts in 15 minutes and I can't get a picture on the TV set.
Well, perhaps you've got fluff in your vertical hold.
It was working all right last night. Here, Jimmy, you watch the screen while I lean over and try this knob at the back. There, Jim. Now, is anything happening?
Yes, the seat of your trousers is splitting.
Oh, I give up. You know, I was really looking forward to that boxing match.
You'll be sorry to miss it, won't you, Grandad?
Ah, well, that. It just ruined my evening.
Fear not. Cinderella Sinclair shall see the boxing tonight. Mr. Whittle will have it on. I'll go and ask him to invite you round.
You do no such thing. I've got my pride, you know.
Oh, never mind your pride. You'll soon forget that when you've called the referee a few rude names. I'll go and ask him.
Jimmy, come back. You hear me?
So far, so good. Now, all I've got to do is to butter up old Whittle, and I'll be back on good times again. Who's coming up the garden path?
Hello there, little whacker. Is your granddad still in the house?
Oh, yes, he is.
Only I thought I'd come round and apologise, see if I could effect a reconsideration.
Oh, well, come in. We'll have a peace conference. He's in the living room here.
Oh, you're back, Jim. I suppose Windbag Whittle was out.
Windbag Whittle has called round to a jollipies.
What?
Hello, Jock. I just popped round to see if we couldn't put our heads together and bury the hatchet.
They're going to scalp each other.
I'm real sorry about that row, you know.
Oh, well, if you put it that way.
No hard feelings, then?
No, none at all.
Good. Give us your mitt. We'll shake on that.
Aye, certainly. Put it there.
Well, now you're pals again. What about the boxing on the telly, Mr. Whittle?
You are? I'm not with you, son.
Young Jim had the idea you might invite me round to your place to see it. You see, our set's not working.
Well, of course. You're as welcome as a pay rise in the police force. Oh, there's just one little snag.
What's that?
My set's not working either. It seems it's catching. There must be a hypodermic about piece.
Well, it doesn't really matter now, does it? We can find something else to do. I don't know what you've been doing to my local, the Rose and Crown Smiler.
That's a pleasure still in anticipation, Pete.
Well, if you'd care to wander down with me,
Delighted.
Wait a minute. You can watch the boxing here. All we've got to do is put the plug back in the aerial.
Oh, I see.
I'll just go and have a word with Lonely Heart in the front room. Make yourselves comfy. First performance commencing in 2 ticks.
Hey, look, you come back here and explain yourself. I wonder what that young rascal's been up to.
I've a strong suspicion he's been trying to patch up our little country temps, as the French say.
He couldn't have touched the aerial. He'd never reach that plug.
Well, knowing Jim, if that's what he wanted, he'd soon find some way round the predicament. After all, as they say, where there's a will, there's relations, eh?
Aye. I think I'm beginning to see daylight.
Well, it's all fixed. Normal service will be resumed as soon as Edmund Hillary's battled his way up the ladder again.
Who?
Alfie Hall. He's the one who did the unplugging for me.
Oh, Jimmy, you're a wee terror.
Well, it was for a good cause, Grandad. Hey, look, the picture started to come on. so we can all sit back and live happy ever after.
Oh, dearie goodness. Sounds like trouble up aloft.
Oh, heck. I'll bet Alfie's fallen again. Honestly, he spends more time on the floor than he does on his feet.
Jimmy, we'd better go up and see what's happened to Alfie.
Oh, there's no need. Here he comes with the Clitheroe Mountain Rescue Team, Mum and our Susan.
Oh dear, I've gone dizzy.
Alfie, what's happened to you?
Oh, it was terrible. I landed on my head and sprained my ankle.
Here, help me get him on the chair, Susan.
Right, Mother.
And give him some fresh air, fan him with a kipper.
I'll have none of that, you. Alfie's told me all about your little scheme.
Yes, and thanks to your meddling stupidity, we can't go dancing now.
Why not? Alfie can manage the okey-cokey on one leg. Oh, well, the picture's come on. Shall I turn up the sound?
Yes, Jimmy, but not too loud. I don't want it to waken you.
Oh, well, I'll just... Waken me?
Yes, you're going right up to bed.
Oh, but, Mum...
You're going to bed. You caused enough trouble for one day.
Now, don't be hard on him, Pat. I'm sure that Jimmy only done it with the best of motivations. So for once, couldn't you, overlook his little indistinction?
Go on, Mum, and I promise I'll never interfere again. The next time Grandad and Mr. Whittle want to have a fight, I'll just hold the coats and fetch him a bucket.
Those involved with the Clitheroe Kid this week were Peter Sinclair, Patricia Burke, Leonard Williams, Danny Ross and Diana Day. The recorded programme, written by James Casey and Frank Roscoe, was produced by James Casey and starred Jimmy Clitheroe as the Kid himself.